laughs softly, tilting his head with a sly grin. You ever notice how people scramble for money like it's a lifeline, chasing it day after day, desperate for it to see them? Funny thing is, sometimes the very thing you're begging for, the breakthrough you've been dreaming about, is already on its way. Quiet, unseen, slipping through corners you never thought to check. And the best part? You won't see it coming. Not because it's unfair, but because timing has its own sense of humor. People panic when their pockets are empty, when bills pile up, when the future looks like a blank page. They hustle, they grind, they claw at every opportunity, afraid the world forgot them. But the truth? You don't always have to chase. Sometimes the blessing finds you. Sometimes it arrives from places you'd never think to look, from hands you never expected, in moments you didn't even notice. Asterisk laughs softly, tilting his head with a crooked smile. Times. Patience. People treat it like it's a joke, don't they? They scroll, they swipe, they hustle, they beg for instant results, as if the universe owes them answers right on demand. They fidget, they pace, they throw tantrums when what they want doesn't arrive immediately. But here's the cruel little secret no one wants to admit. Timing doesn't bend for impatience. It doesn't hurry up because you're tired or frustrated or desperate. It has its own rhythm, its own sense of humor, and it moves exactly when it's meant to. Laughs under his breath. Times. People panic when they don't see progress. They check accounts, messages, emails, looking for proof that their efforts mattered, that the universe is noticing. They think waiting is a punishment, a cruel trick played to test their endurance. But patience, real patience, it isn't waiting in vain. It's learning to move in rhythm with something bigger than yourself. It's learning to dance with the invisible forces that are quietly arranging your world while you're too busy screaming at it. You see, the problem is humans want control. They want the power to dictate outcomes, to schedule miracles, to design the perfect timeline. Asterisk chuckles softly. Times. But life, fate, the mysterious currents that run through everything, they don't answer to schedules. They don't care if you're ready or not. They work on their own clock, and sometimes that clock makes no sense at all. You think you're waiting for nothing, but in reality, the waiting is exactly what's preparing you for what's coming. Laughs low, almost to himself. Times. Have you ever noticed how people only appreciate what arrives late? Something delivered too easily, too quickly, it loses its weight, it loses its power. Struggle, delay, suspense, they sharpen you. They teach you to value what you're about to receive. Patience isn't passive. It isn't just sitting there hoping for change. It's active. It's observing, learning, readying yourself for the moment that will define you. And when that moment finally comes, it hits harder, feels sweeter, because you were ready to catch it. People misinterpret waiting as weakness. They look at someone standing still and say, why aren't they doing more? They don't see the work being done behind the scenes, in the mind, in the heart, in the quiet moments where fear and doubt are battled in silence. Patience is strength disguised as calm. It's strategy disguised as stillness. It's knowing that the universe doesn't reward panic, it rewards preparation, insight, timing. Asterisk laughs quietly, voice curling with mischief. Times. Fear is the enemy of patience. People panic when they think the clock is ticking faster than it really is. They worry that the moment they've been waiting for will slip away if they don't chase it with manic energy. But the irony? Chasing too hard can ruin the arrival. Timing is delicate. It's precise. It doesn't tolerate force. Push too hard, and the opportunity bends, snaps, or vanishes entirely. Patience. Patience is the art of allowing it to unfold on its own terms, while you grow into the person ready to receive it. People always talk about luck, but luck without patience is nothing but chaos. True opportunity doesn't strike at random. It arrives exactly when the universe deems you ready for it. And that moment, that single, perfect, unexpected moment, can change everything. But if you're impatient, if you're screaming, thrashing, fighting the delay, you won't even recognize it when it lands. The universe loves irony. It rewards the quiet, the steady, the patient. It punishes the frantic. Asterisk laughs softly, voice low times. Waiting teaches more than action ever could. It teaches humility. It teaches resilience. It teaches faith in forces you can't see, in currents you can't predict. People think they're powerless while they wait, but in reality, they're learning, they're observing, they're growing into the version of themselves capable of handling the gift that's about to arrive. And that's why the delay feels painful. It's sharpening you, shaping you, molding you into someone worthy. You see, impatience is the loud, desperate voice. Patience is the silent, confident presence. One begs, screams, fights. The other prepares, listens, and ultimately receives without struggle. People who understand this don't just survive the waiting, they thrive in it. They see the unfolding before it's visible. They feel the rhythm of life's timing and move with it instead of against it. Asterisk laughs softly, eyes glinting, times. Most people can't handle it. They quit, they give up, they curse the delay, thinking it's a mistake. But the universe doesn't make mistakes. Delay isn't denial. Waiting isn't punishment. Patience isn't weakness. It's the secret force, the invisible power, the quiet hand that positions you exactly where you need to be for the moment that matters most. And that's the irony of it all. Those who scream, who panic, who demand they get nothing. Those who wait, who watch, who trust. Their timing is perfect, even when they can't see it yet. Asterisk laughs quietly, tilting his head, voice low and playful times. Preparation. People think they can wing it. They think luck will fall in their laps if they just beg hard enough or hope long enough. Funny, isn't it? They imagine opportunities as gifts delivered on demand, as if the universe has a schedule pinned to their impatience. But the truth? The world doesn't hand out surprises to the unready, not even a little. The unseen, the unexpected it finds. Those who've done the work no one notices. Asterisk laughs softly, pacing slowly times. Preparation isn't about rushing. It's not about frantic effort or shallow movement. It's about shaping yourself quietly in the shadows, when no one is watching, when the applause hasn't arrived yet. It's the silent practice, the unseen patience, the late-night thoughts and invisible choices that make you ready for the moment life finally decides to knock. And oh, the irony is delicious. People think effort is only effort when it's visible, when it's loud, when someone can clap for it. But real preparation is invisible, hidden, quiet, deadly effective. You see, most people panic when opportunity arrives. They grab it blindly, fumble it, destroy it, because they never bothered to prepare. They want the win, but they skip the rehearsal. They want the fortune, but they never lifted themselves above mediocrity. And that's why it's so entertaining to watch life hand the same chance to the one who's ready, while the desperate scramble in vain. Preparation separates the chaos from the control, the luckless from the blessed. Asterisk laughs again, softly but sharp. Time's preparation demands discipline. It demands watching when everyone else sleeps, listening when everyone else shouts, learning when everyone else rests. It's not glamorous. There's no spotlight, no audience cheering, no instant reward. But when the moment finally arrives, and it always does, the person who prepared doesn't panic. They don't stumble. They don't beg for a second chance. They step in like they were always meant to be there. People always underestimate the unseen work. They think it doesn't matter if no one notices. They think that what's hidden can't possibly be powerful. But the universe has a sense of humor. It knows who's ready, who's patient, who's sharp. The moment opportunity appears, it won't look twice at the ones who were too busy complaining, too busy begging, too busy chasing shadows. It will find the one who trained in silence, who built strength in private, who mastered themselves when no one else was watching. Asterisk laughs lowly, voice curling times. You ever notice how the unprepared panic at the first sign of promise? Their hands shake, their voices quiver, their plans crumble because they never faced the waiting room of life. They never built resilience. They never sharpened their mind while everyone else slept. Preparation isn't just readiness, it's the calm in the storm, the clarity in chaos, the edge that slices through confusion and fear like a knife through fog. And here's the delicious part. Preparation never feels like preparation. It's boring, tedious, invisible. People yawn at it. They scoff at it. They say, "Why waste time?" But time spent preparing is time spent building the future no one can touch. The irony is exquisite. Those who scoff are always last, scrambling, crying for what the prepared have already claimed. Asterisk laughs softly, tilting his head times. Preparation is also patience in disguise. You can't build tomorrow if you're desperate for today. You can't catch what's meant for you if your hands are full of what isn't. The act of getting ready requires faith in the invisible, trust in timing, and commitment to self-discipline when no one is counting. That's the part people hate. They want results without refinement, miracles without mastery, fortune without foresight. But life doesn't work that way. You see, opportunity isn't a random coin tossed into the wind. It's precise, calculated, merciless to the unready, and generous to the one who's done the work. The moment arrives, and it tests you immediately. If you're ready, you thrive. If you're not, you falter. You don't get second chances. You don't get a redo. You only get what you earned in preparation, whether anyone applauds or not. Asterisk laughs quietly, almost a whisper times. Most people underestimate themselves. They underestimate what they can build quietly, secretly, in shadows. They underestimate the power of unseen effort. But the moment opportunity lands, it reveals all the preparation that was hiding behind patience, behind discipline, behind every invisible choice. And that's when you see it, the power of being ready before the world even knows the game has started. Preparation isn't about luck. It isn't about timing. It isn't about chance. It's about building yourself into the person capable of seizing the moment when it arrives, and laughing quietly at those who thought it would be given to them without effort, without foresight, without the work no one ever sees. Asterisk laughs softly, tilting his head with a crooked grin times opportunities. People think they can grab them whenever they want. They imagine life as a buffet where you can pick what you like and leave the rest. Funny thing is, opportunity doesn't work that way. It's a hunter, a trickster, a shadow that only lands when you're ready to catch it. Most people waste their time chasing illusions, chasing what they times think, times they deserve, blind to the fact that what's meant for them is quietly circling, waiting for their hands to be empty, their minds to be clear, their hearts ready. Asterisk laughs under his breath, pacing slowly times. People panic when doors don't open immediately. They knock, they scream, they beg for entry, never realizing that some doors aren't meant to be pushed, they're meant to swing open when you stop forcing them. Opportunity finds the ready. It finds the patient. It finds the ones who have done the unseen work, who have built themselves quietly in shadows, who have mastered themselves before the world even knew the game had begun. You see, humans are obsessed with control. They want guarantees, schedules, step-by-step instructions. They want to know times exactly, times when, where, and how life will deliver. Asterisk, chuckle softly times. But life is chaos. Life is irony. Life hides the punchline until the exact moment it lands. And the moment opportunity finally appears, it doesn't ask if you're scared or exhausted. It doesn't care if you've doubted or cursed the wait. It simply shows up, precise and unavoidable. And you either take it or watch it vanish. Asterisk laughs low, eyes glinting times. People always underestimate timing. They think missing a chance is failure, that delay is rejection, that struggle means punishment. But opportunity is patient. It doesn't reward desperation. It rewards readiness. It rewards those who have sharpened themselves in silence, who have grown in darkness, who have prepared while everyone else panicked. The world isn't cruel, it's selective. And opportunity only selects the ones who understand that. Most people panic when fortune appears. Their hands shake, their thoughts scatter, their fear paralyzes them. They don't recognize it because they never prepared. They never learned to see the invisible signs, the subtle hints, the quiet paths that lead to what's meant for them. Opportunity isn't obvious. It's hidden. It's silent. It's the invisible hand tapping you on the shoulder when you've stopped screaming at life for attention. Asterisk laughs quietly. Voice curling times. Preparation and readiness are invisible, but their reward is undeniable. The person who is ready doesn't stumble. They don't beg. They don't waste time negotiating with chance. They step in, seize the moment, and transform it into movement, into growth, into advantage. Meanwhile, the desperate continue chasing, blind and frantic, never seeing that what they wanted was circling them all along. Opportunity demands clarity of mind. It demands calm, not chaos. It demands the kind of focus that comes from surviving struggle, from enduring waiting, from sharpening oneself when no one else is watching. It doesn't forgive ignorance. It doesn't pause for fear. It doesn't care about hesitation. And that's why most people fail, not because the chance wasn't there, but because they weren't ready when it arrived. Asterisk laughs softly, leaning forward, voice low times. You ever notice how people only appreciate opportunity when it's nearly gone? When the shadow is leaving, the window is closing, they finally see the gift. That's the irony. If they had been ready, they wouldn't have needed the panic, the scrambling, the fear. They would have taken it calmly, fully, and it would have transformed them without chaos. But the universe loves contrast. It loves the dramatic reveal. It loves testing whether you're ready to catch the unseen before it disappears. And here's the delicious part. Opportunity rarely knocks twice in the same form. Life doesn't repeat itself for the unprepared. You either take it or you watch someone else step in. That's the law. That's the reality. That's the joke the world plays on impatience, panic, and ignorance. Asterisk laughs low, almost to himself times. People always chase what they times think. Times is the moment, ignoring the subtle, hidden ones that actually matter. Opportunity hides in plain sight for the ready, for the patient, for the ones who have grown invisible muscles, sharpened invisible tools, built invisible strength. They see it, they catch it, and life bends for them not because it's kind, but because they earned it. And the rest? They scramble, they curse, they cry. They never understand that opportunity doesn't reward effort alone. It rewards timing, readiness, patience, and preparation. It rewards those who can recognize the invisible hand reaching for them in the chaos. Those who can move without hesitation when the invisible whispers finally become visible. Asterisk laughs softly, a hint of madness curling in his tone times. That's the game. The moment comes, precise, perfect, and invisible until it's undeniable. And the question isn't whether opportunity will arrive, it always does, but whether you've done the work, sharpened your mind, and built yourself strong enough to catch it when it does. Because life doesn't wait for the panicked, it waits for the ready. Asterisk laughs quietly, tilting his head, voice low and playful times. Trust. People love to talk about it like it's simple, don't they? Like it's something you can just decide to give or demand in return. Funny, isn't it? People beg for security, for assurance, for guarantees. But the moment life throws the unpredictable at them, they crumble. They panic. They scream. They clutch at control, like it will save them from the chaos that's always been lurking in the shadows. Trust isn't about control. Trust is about surrendering to the invisible, to the unseen currents that are quietly carrying you toward what you can't yet see. Asterisk laughs softly, pacing slowly. Times. People struggle because they want to see the path before taking the step. They want proof, validation, certainty, as if the world owes them clarity. But the universe doesn't operate on human terms. It doesn't owe explanations. It doesn't answer to panic or planning. Trust is the leap you take when there's nothing beneath your feet, when the ground has been swallowed by doubt and fear. It's stepping into the void with a grin, knowing you might fall, knowing you might stumble, but daring to move anyway. You see, humans are obsessed with control. They want guarantees, schedules, blueprints. They want to dictate the exact moment fortune arrives, the exact path to success, the precise timing of blessings. Asterisk chuckles softly times. But life has its own sense of humor. It moves in ways you can't predict, in timing you can't calculate, in manners you can't control. And those who panic, who scream, who demand, they miss the subtle currents, the quiet alignment, the invisible signs that point them toward exactly what they're meant to find. Asterisk laughs low, almost to himself times trust. Doesn't arrive like a thunderclap. It's quiet. It's subtle. It's the gentle nudge in the dark, the invisible hand that guides you past the traps you couldn't see. People mistake patience for weakness, waiting for luck, for laziness, but trust, real trust, is the armor you wear while the storm rages around you. It's the calm eye in the hurricane, the quiet certainty that even if everything seems lost, Something is moving behind the clown. Scenes, orchestrating the chaos into your favor. People panic because the unseen terrifies them. They think absence means failure, that delay means denial, that the invisible is gone. But the unseen is never gone. It's simply working on a schedule you don't understand. The moment you stop screaming, the moment you stop clawing at life for answers, trust steps in. Opportunity finds the patient. Blessings locate the ready. And when the invisible finally becomes visible, it hits hard, sharp, undeniable. Asterisk laughs quietly, voice curling with mischief times. Most people think trust is passive. They believe it's waiting idly for miracles. But trust is active. It's quiet preparation. It's learning to read the signs. It's sharpening your senses, your mind, your instincts. It's building yourself in silence while the world panics, while the impatient scream. When the moment comes, and it always comes, the person who trusted knows exactly how to act. They don't stumble. They don't falter. They seize it, and life bends for them because they were ready to receive it, even when the world thought they were alone. Asterisk laughs softly, eyes glinting times. Trust is also about surrender. Surrendering the illusion that you control everything, that you can dictate the timing, the methods, the people, the outcomes. People panic because they hold too tightly to what they can't control. Trust is letting go of that grip and daring to believe that the universe, in its chaos, has a plan precise enough to place everything exactly where it should be. And here's the delicious part. Trust tests you. It forces you to sit in discomfort, to face uncertainty, to remain calm when everything screams otherwise. The unprepared panic. They complain. They curse the delay, the unpredictability, the chaos. But the person who trusts, they watch, they wait, they move silently with the currents, knowing that life always delivers, even if it's not on the schedule they imagined. Asterisk laughs softly, almost a whisper times. People fear what they can't see. They panic when life hides its hand. But opportunity doesn't announce itself to the desperate. It seeks the ready, the patient, the observant, the ones who have learned to trust the invisible currents that flow beneath the chaos. Trust isn't magic. It's understanding. It's alignment. It's knowing that even if you can't see it, something is moving in your favor. And that's the beauty, the irony. The world laughs at the panicked, but it bends for the ones who trust. The invisible hand finds them, touches them, locates them, even in moments when they doubt everything. Life rewards readiness, patience, and the quiet courage to trust in what cannot be seen. Asterisk laughs quietly, eyes drifting off, voice curling with dark amusement times. The universe doesn't care if you panic. It doesn't care if you scream or beg or fight. It only responds to the ones who trust, the ones who move with it instead of against it, the ones who understand that the unseen is already orchestrating what the impatient cannot even imagine, and that the blessing, when it finally arrives, will be precise, inevitable, and entirely unstoppable. Asterisk laughs softly, tilting his head with a sly grin times fear. People live their entire lives trying to avoid it. They build walls, they chase distractions, they cling to routines like security blankets, all in the hope that fear will leave them alone. But here's the dark little joke. Fear doesn't leave. It doesn't disappear just because you want it to. It lurks, it waits, it tests you. The ones who survive it aren't the ones who avoid it. They're the ones who dance with it, who stare it in the eye, and who use it to sharpen themselves in ways the comfortable never can. Asterisk laughs quietly, pacing slowly times. Fear is clever. It whispers lies that feel like truths. It tells you you're not ready, that you're not enough, that the world will crush you if you take even one step forward. Most people listen. Most people obey. Most people retreat into shadows, hiding from the very thing that could make them stronger. But opportunity has no patience for hesitation. It only rewards the brave, the bold, the ones willing to meet fear head on and step past it anyway. You see, fear is not the enemy. It's the gatekeeper. It's the test, the measurement of readiness, the invisible barrier that separates the timid from the unstoppable. People mistake courage for recklessness, bravery for luck, but real courage, real power, comes from walking straight into the thing that scares you most, smiling while your hands shake, and knowing that trembling doesn't mean defeat. It means you're alive. It means you're capable. It means you're ready for what's coming. Asterisk laughs low, almost to himself times. The funny thing is, fear can be intoxicating. People feed it without realizing, letting it control their lives while thinking they are controlling it. They panic over bills, over futures, over missed chances, over possibilities they cannot even see. And in the meantime, the world moves quietly around them, delivering opportunity to the ones who weren't afraid to sit in the discomfort, to feel the uncertainty, to grow in the silence where everyone else screams for answers. Most people think fear is external. They think it comes from threats, from danger, from the unknown. But fear is internal. It's the voice inside your head that doubts your worth, your strength, your ability to seize the moment. And that's why facing it is so powerful, because once you see the voice for what it is, once you stare it down and keep moving, you realize the world isn't trying to stop you. You've been stopping yourself all along. Asterisk laughs softly, voice curling with mischief times. Fear tests patience. It tests focus. It tests discipline. People panic when the pressure rises. They scramble. They hesitate. They stumble. But the ones who understand it, they thrive in it. They use it. They sharpen their senses, their instincts, their courage. They transform fear from a chain into a weapon, from a shadow into a guide. Fear becomes the invisible force pushing them into the path of opportunity, into the hands of the unexpected, into the moments that will define them. You see, fear is a filter. It separates the prepared from the unprepared, the ready from the unready. Opportunity does not tolerate panic. Blessings do not pause for trembling. Life rewards those who confront the darkness inside themselves, who endure the terror, who move forward despite it. The rest, they remain paralyzed, watching from the sidelines, wondering why the world passes them by. Asterisk laughs quietly, voice low times. The ironic part? The closer fear feels, the closer opportunity often is. The louder the doubt, the more urgent the test. The sharper the threat it signals that something big is near. People shrink from it, panic, flail, but the ones who lean in, who feel the fear fully and take it in as fuel, they are the ones who find what others only dream about. They are the ones who discover that fear is not a wall but a doorway, a gateway, an invitation to step beyond the ordinary into the extraordinary. Fear teaches more than comfort ever could. It teaches clarity. It teaches resilience. It teaches timing, patience, and instinct. It forces you to see your weaknesses and to turn them into strengths. It strips away illusions, demands focus, and shows you who you really are when nothing is holding you back but yourself. And the delicious irony, the ones who fear the least are often the ones who gain the most, because they recognize fear for what it is, a tool, a test, a signal, and not the end of the road. Asterisk laughs softly, eyes glinting times. Most people try to eliminate fear. They try to hide from it, control it, ignore it. But that's the mistake. Fear can't be removed, it can only be mastered. It can only be understood, used, transformed. And when you master it, when you walk into it without hesitation, it becomes a secret ally, quietly guiding you toward the paths of unexpected fortune, hidden opportunity, and unseen blessings. And that's the truth. Fear doesn't block you. It points you. It doesn't punish you. It prepares you. It doesn't arrive to stop you. It arrives to measure you. And those who understand that, who lean in, who move despite trembling hands, they discover that the world is far less cruel than they feared, and far more generous than they ever imagined. Asterisk laughs low and slow, eyes glinting with mischief times. You know what's funny? People hate goodbyes. They cling to what's breaking, smile through the cracks, pretend everything's fine just to avoid the truth staring right back at them. The truth that some things aren't meant to last. Some doors were never supposed to stay open. When life decides it's done with a chapter, it doesn't ask for your opinion. It just ends it. Quietly, brutally, perfectly. And you stand there, confused, angry, scared, calling it unfair, when really, it's just balance. It's that unseen hand saying, "That's enough now. Time to let go." Asterisk laughs under his breath, pacing slowly times. You see, people, they love to hold on. To things, to people, to moments that already slipped through their fingers a long time ago. They grip tighter, thinking maybe, just maybe, the past will change its mind and come crawling back. But it doesn't. It never does. Because the truth is, the world doesn't. Stop moving just because you're not ready to let go. It doesn't care about your comfort, your nostalgia, or your excuses. It just keeps spinning, dragging you forward whether you like it or not. Acceptance. Now, that's the hard part. Everyone wants control. They want to decide who stays, what lasts, and when things should end. But life doesn't hand out control, it hands out lessons. Sometimes brutal, sometimes silent, but always necessary. And still, we fight it. We scratch and scream against change, like a child refusing to leave a burning house. That's what makes people miserable. They think holding on is strength. But in reality, it's the reason they keep breaking the same way over and over again. Asterisk laughs again, softly this times. Acceptance isn't about giving up. Oh no, it's about seeing things as they are, not as you times wish times they were. It's about staring reality in the face, ugly, unfair, unfiltered, and saying, all right, this is what it is. Most people can't do that. They'd rather drown in denial because denial feels safer than truth. Truth burns. It leaves scars. But those scars, they mean you've seen something real. You ever notice how people rewrite their pain? They twist it into stories where they're always the victim or the hero, depending on what helps them sleep at night. That's because facing the truth means facing themselves. And that's the one thing people run from more than anything themselves. Acceptance demands honesty. Brutal, uncomfortable, naked honesty. It strips away the illusions you hide behind, and once that happens, there's nowhere left to run. People think acceptance means sitting quietly and nodding through suffering. Asterisk smirks times. No, no, no. It means you stop pretending. You stop forcing life to fit the picture in your head. It's realizing that some people were only meant to be lessons, not lifetimes. That some moments are supposed to hurt because pain wakes you up. And when you finally stop fighting it, when you stop chasing ghosts and start facing the mirror, you find something you didn't expect: peace. Not the kind you fake for others, but the kind that sits deep inside your bones, whispering that you don't have to fight anymore. The problem is, people are addicted to control. They love the illusion of it. They say, I can fix it. I can make them stay. I can change the outcome. Asterisk chuckles darkly times. No, you can't. You never could. Control is the prettiest lie ever told. The more you try to hold the universe in your hands, the more it slips through your fingers. Acceptance is the opposite. It's the art of loosening your grip, of saying, if it's meant for me, it'll stay. If not, it's already gone. That's not weakness. That's freedom. But freedom, it scares people. Because when you accept what is, you lose the comfort of blaming someone else. You can't point fingers at fate or cry about what could have been. You have to live with the truth that everything is exactly where it's supposed to be, even if it's not where you want it to be, and that terrifies them. There's a strange kind of peace in watching something end and not flinch. When you can smile at the ashes instead of crying for the fire, that's when you know you've changed. Acceptance doesn't mean you don't feel the pain. It means you don't let the pain own you. You let it pass through, burn what it needs to burn, and then you walk out of it lighter. People call that coldness. I call it evolution. The another, asterisk, laughs lowly, almost to himself times. Everyone's searching for happiness, but they skip the part where they have to let go first. They want new beginnings without endings. They want healing without loss. But you can't build a new life with hands full of old debris. Acceptance clears the wreckage. It says, this is gone. This is over. Now what? And most people can't handle that question because it forces them to start again. And starting again means admitting that something ended. The funny thing is, once you truly accept, you stop fearing endings altogether. You stop begging for people to stay. Stop chasing what's not chasing you. You realize everything that left you was supposed to, and everything that stayed was meant to. The chaos stops feeling like punishment. It starts feeling like design. You begin to see the beauty in the mess, the meaning in the loss, the lesson in the silence. And that's when you finally understand. Acceptance isn't surrender, it's awakening. It's not saying, I give up. It's saying, I see now. Because once you see, you can't unsee. Once you understand that not everything broken needs fixing, that not every ending is a tragedy, you stop bleeding for things that don't deserve your blood. And maybe then, just maybe, you realize the weight you've been carrying was never yours to hold in the first place. Asterisk laughs softly, almost whispering to himself times, you know what's strange? Everyone wants to grow, but nobody wants to change. They say they want to evolve, to be better, to move on, but the moment life starts taking away what's comfortable, they panic. They scream. They cling to the old chapter like it's a lifeline, not realizing it's the very thing drowning them. Growth isn't this shiny, pretty thing people talk about. It's messy. It's violent. It tears through your habits, your beliefs, your illusions. It doesn't ask for permission. It just comes, and it takes. People love to romanticize growth like it's some peaceful walk into the sunrise. Asterisk Snickers times, no. It's more like walking barefoot through broken glass, smiling while everything inside you wants to scream. Because growth requires one thing. Most people are terrified of closure. And closure, my friend, isn't about forgetting. It's about facing what you didn't want to see, saying what you never wanted to admit, and walking away without needing an apology that will never come. That's the part nobody wants to talk about. See, people crave progress, but they're addicted to pain. They hold on to their suffering because it's familiar. It gives them identity. They say, I want to heal. But deep down they whisper, not yet. I'm not ready to let go. Growth doesn't wait for your readiness. It slams the door shut and tells you, move. And when that happens, you either adapt or you decay. Asterisk laughs under his breath times. You can't grow while still holding hands with your past. You can't expect new beginnings when you're still reading the same old page, hoping the words will change this time. Closure means turning the page, even when it still smells like the person you lost, even when the ink is still wet from your tears. It's about realizing that dragging your past into your future doesn't make you loyal. It makes you stuck. Most people confuse comfort with peace. They stay in the same patterns, same relationships, same dead routines, just because it's what they know. They call it stability, but it's really fear wearing a disguise. Growth demands that you burn the comfort zone to the ground. It doesn't care how cozy you were. It looks you in the eye and says, if you want more, you have to lose this. And that's when people start shaking. Because letting go of what feels safe is like stepping into the dark without a flashlight. But that's exactly where transformation begins. When you finally understand that closure isn't cruelty, you stop begging for explanations. You stop chasing people who've already walked away. You stop rereading old conversations, trying to find meaning in words that were never meant to save you. Growth is the moment you stop needing validation from the very thing that broke you. It's not about revenge. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about realizing you don't need what once defined you. Asterisk laughs low, leans in slightly times. Funny thing is, people always ask, why did this happen to me? As if the world owes them a gentle explanation. But growth doesn't speak politely. It teaches through silence, through loss, through chaos. It rips apart your comfort just to show you what you're capable of living without. You call it destruction, but it's just transformation wearing its war paint. You ever notice how flowers grow? They push through dirt, through darkness, through layers of things that tried to bury them. That's growth. It's not glamorous, it's survival dressed as evolution. And closure? That's the dirt itself. The weight that forces you to fight upward, to reach for light you haven't seen yet. Without closure, there's no push. Without endings, there's no rise. Most people think closure means someone coming back to say sorry. No, that's just fantasy. Real closure is when you stop needing to hear it. When you stop checking if they noticed your silence. When you stop wishing things went differently. That's when growth takes root, not in the smiles, not in the pretending, but in the moment you quietly decide, I deserve better than this. And you walk away without looking back. Asterisk laughs again, softly but sharp times. People love to talk about moving on, but they never mention the emptiness that follows, that hollow space where something used to be. That's the price of growth. It leaves you bare, stripped, exposed. But it also makes room for peace, for purpose, for something real. The void isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's what comes before you rebuild. But no one tells you that closure doesn't always come clean. Sometimes it's ugly. Sometimes it's a goodbye left unsaid, a lesson learned too late, a silence that echoes louder than any goodbye ever could. Growth is learning to live with that silence, to let it teach you instead of haunt you, to stop reopening wounds just to prove they still hurt. Because when you do that, when you stop bleeding for attention, you finally understand that closure was never about them. It was always about you. Asterisk laughs quietly, eyes glinting times. Growth requires closure because without it, you're just recycling pain, dressing up your wounds and calling it love. You can't heal in the same place that hurt you, no matter how much you want to believe you can. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is close the book, even if you never got to finish the story, because maybe, just maybe, it wasn't meant to end the way you wanted. Maybe it ended exactly how it had to. Asterisk laughs softly, the sound lingering like an echo in an empty room times. You know what really fascinates me? The way people mistake holding on for strength. They think clutching the pieces of something broken makes them brave. That dragging the weight of what's gone somehow means they care more, love deeper, fight harder. But really, it's just fear wearing armor. Fear of being alone. Fear of starting again. Fear of not knowing who. They are without the things that already left them. Letting go, that's times real strength. Because it doesn't come with applause. It doesn't come with validation or understanding. It comes with silence. The kind of silence that crawls under your skin, whispers in your ear, and tells you it's time to stop pretending. People don't like that silence. It forces them to face the truth. And the truth is, some things are already gone, long before we're willing to admit it. Asterisk laughs under his breath times. You ever see someone trying to revive a ghost? Not literally, of course, but emotionally. They keep replaying the same moments, the same conversations, hoping they'll sound different this time. They hold on to memories like lifeboats, refusing to realize the ship has already sunk. That's not strength. It's desperation in disguise. Letting go isn't about forgetting. It's about finally accepting that what's broken isn't yours to fix anymore. People love control. They crave it. They want to dictate how life unfolds, who stays, who leaves, what lasts forever. But letting go takes that control and shatters it right in front of you. It says, you can't make people love you. You can't force things to stay. You can't rewrite the ending. And that's what makes it powerful, because it strips you of illusion. When you finally release what's not meant for you, you stop living in delusion and start breathing in reality. Asterisk laughs a little louder, eyes flickering with amusement times. The funny part? Everyone says they want peace, but they keep fighting battles that ended a long time ago. They rehearse the same pain, feed the same anger, chase the same answers from people who never cared to give them. Letting go is terrifying because it means you stop being a victim of your own story. It means you stop using the past as a reason to stay broken. Most people would rather keep bleeding than face that kind of responsibility. Strength isn't in the grip. It's in the release. It's standing in front of what you once loved and saying, I'll survive without it. That's not weakness. That's courage. Because it's easy to cling to what's familiar, even if it's killing you. It's harder to walk away from something that once made you feel alive. But that's what strength really looks like, not staying because it's easy, but leaving because it's right. Letting go hurts because it kills your illusions. You realize not everyone you love will love you back. Not every dream you chase will come true. Not every chapter gets closure. Sometimes life ends things mid-sentence, without warning, without reason. And all you can do is take a deep breath and not chase after what's gone. That's where real power lives, in restraint, not resistance. People love to talk about being strong, but strength isn't loud. It doesn't scream or demand attention. It's quiet. It's the person who deletes the message they'll never send. The one who doesn't show up where they're not wanted. The one who learns to smile while letting go of everything that once defined them. It's invisible strength, the kind that doesn't seek recognition, just freedom. Asterisk laughs quietly, eyes distant times. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care enough for yourself to stop suffering. It's realizing that holding on to something that's hurting you isn't loyalty, it's self-destruction. It's the art of choosing peace over pride, healing over history. Most people don't have the guts for that kind of choice. They'd rather carry their pain like a badge, a reminder of how much they've endured. But endurance isn't the same as growth. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is simply stop. You see, when you let go, the world doesn't fall apart, it rearranges. Everything you lose makes space for something you couldn't have seen while your hands were full. But the catch is, you won't see it right away. You'll only feel the emptiness first, the absence, the silence. That's the test. Most people run back to what hurt them, just to escape that feeling. But if you can stand in that silence long enough, if you can sit with the emptiness without filling it with more chaos, you start to rebuild differently. Asterisk laughs again, softly but darkly times. People think strength is about winning, but it's not. It's about surrendering with dignity. It's about walking away from what you wanted most and not begging for it to come back. It's about knowing that not everything you lose is a tragedy. Some things are just lessons disguised as pain. And when you let go, you start to see the pattern. You realize everything that left you was making room for something better, something truer, something that doesn't demand you to suffer to keep it. The world doesn't reward those who cling. It rewards those who learn, those who evolve, those who dare to open their hands and trust that what's meant for them won't need to be chased. Letting go isn't an act of giving up, it's an act of growing up. Because you can't move forward with your fists still clenched. You have to loosen your grip, take the hit, feel the loss, and keep walking. That's what real strength looks like. It's quiet, it's painful, and it doesn't need anyone's approval. Asterisk laughs softly, eyes narrowing with amusement times. You ever notice how people always want things when they want them? They pray, they beg, they scream to the sky, demanding answers like spoiled children. Why not now, they say. Why not me? They want everything to happen on their schedule, their terms. But life doesn't dance to your tune. It's not a servant, it's a teacher. And the lesson is, this timing isn't yours to control. Asterisk laughs again, quietly times. There's something almost poetic about it. People mistake delay for denial. They think because it hasn't happened yet, it never will. They don't see that sometimes what they're asking for would destroy them if they got it too soon. Divine timing. It's like an invisible thread, pulling you through moments you don't understand, only to reveal later why the waiting was necessary. But of course, humans hate waiting. They call it suffering. They call it unfair. when in truth it's protection wearing a mask. People are obsessed with control. They want to plan every breath, predict every outcome, schedule every miracle, asterisk, smirks, slightly times. But life, oh life, laughs at plans. It watches you make them, nods politely, and then tears them apart just to show you who's really in charge. And every time it happens, people panic. They think they've failed. They think they've been punished. But sometimes, what looks like rejection is just redirection. The delay isn't the denial, it's the detour that saves you from the wrong road. You ever wonder why some things come easy, and others, no matter how hard you fight, just won't move? That's not coincidence. That's timing. That's something greater saying, not yet. But people don't want to hear not yet. They'd rather force open doors that were never locked for them. They chase after what's running away, cry over what's not meant to stay. And when life says no, they scream louder, as if noise can change destiny. Asterisk laughs under his breath, shaking his head times. You know what's funny? When people finally get what they once begged for, half the time they're not even ready for it. They wanted the reward, but not the responsibility. They prayed for the crown, but forgot it comes with the weight. Divine timing gives you what you need times when times you're ready, not when you think you deserve it. And that's what drives people mad. They can't stand not being in control of the clock. But that's the beauty of it, the unpredictability. If you knew everything in advance, there'd be no growth, no courage, no faith, just routine. And routine is the slowest kind of death. Life doesn't want you comfortable, it wants you awake. It'll make you wait, it'll make you lose. It'll make you question everything, until one day you realize every delay was actually preparation. Every no was a test of trust. Every loss was clearing the path for what was always meant to be yours. Asterisk laughs darkly, voice lowering times. People think faith means believing everything will be perfect. It doesn't. It means believing even when everything looks like hell. It means standing in the middle of chaos and saying, I still trust this. That's divine timing, not magic, not luck, not coincidence. It's order disguised as madness. You think you're falling apart, but really, you're being rearranged. You ever notice how storms don't ask permission before they arrive? They just come. They destroy, they flood, they terrify. But once they're done, everything's cleaner. The air's lighter. The noise is gone. That's what divine timing does. It wrecks the old to make room for the real. And while you're there, sitting in the ruins, you're cursing the storm, not realizing it just gave you back your sky. People call it bad luck when something doesn't work out. They say, I tried so hard and it still failed. But sometimes that failure is the kindest thing life could give you. Because what if success came too early? What if love arrived before you knew how to keep it? What if your dream came true before you could handle the pressure that comes with it? You'd break. You'd ruin the very thing you prayed for. So instead, life says, wait. And you call it pain, but it's mercy. Asterisk laughs softly, eyes glinting with something sharp. Times. The irony is, people believe in divine power, but only when it agrees with them. The moment life says, not yet, they stop believing. They start cursing the very thing that's saving them from themselves. Timing isn't punishment. It's protection. It's precision. It's that unseen hand saying, you're not late. You're being aligned. But people can't see alignment when they're busy counting clocks. Waiting drives people insane because waiting feels powerless. But patience isn't weakness, it's quiet strength. It's the art of standing still while everything inside you screams to move. That's not easy. That's not passive. That's mastery. Because when you can wait without losing your mind, without forcing the wrong things, you finally start to understand how the game is played. Asterisk laughs low, leaning forward slightly times. The truth is, divine timing isn't always gentle. It doesn't come wrapped in comfort. It tests you. It strips you. It makes you question everything you thought you knew. It delays what you crave until you're strong enough to carry it. It closes doors to make sure you stop knocking on the wrong ones. And when the right moment comes, it doesn't whisper, it roars. Everything falls into place, not because you chased it, but because you finally stopped fighting the clock. And maybe that's the secret. Real strength isn't in forcing things to happen. It's in having the patience to let them. Because time, as cruel as it seems, always knows what it's doing. It's never early, never late, always exact. And when it moves perfectly, even if you don't see it yet. Asterisk laughs quietly, voice dragging like smoke through the air. Time's pain. People run from it like it's the devil himself. They hide, they numb, they distract. They'll do anything times just to avoid feeling it. But here's the trick no one wants to admit. Pain isn't the enemy, it's the messenger, the mirror, the wake-up call that shows you exactly what needs to change. Without it, you'd stay asleep, trapped in the same patterns, clinging to the same ghosts, pretending everything's fine when it's not. Asterisk laughs again, soft and sharp times. You ever notice how people only learn when it hurts? They don't change when things are easy. No, they change when everything falls apart, when the rug gets pulled from under them, when the person they trusted most walks away, when the dream they built burns to ash. That's when transformation starts, right there in the ruins. Because pain strips away your illusions. It forces you to see what's real, what's left when everything else is gone. Pain doesn't break you. It reveals you. It shows you the truth about who you are when there's nothing left to protect you. People think strength comes from smiles and confidence, but real strength is born in silence. In the nights you can't sleep, when the world feels too heavy and you still get up anyway. That's transformation. Not the pretty kind. Not the kind they write in self-help books. The raw kind. The kind that burns your old self to make space for something new. Asterisk laughs under his breath, eyes glinting with irony times. Everyone wants to grow, but nobody wants to suffer. They say they want to evolve, but they pray for comfort. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. Comfort keeps you blind. Pain opens your eyes. It's the teacher no one asks for, but everyone needs. And the lesson? Simple. You don't become who you're meant to be by avoiding what hurts you. Become it by surviving it. You ever watch how people react when life gets hard? Some collapse, some fight, some laugh through the chaos just to stay sane. Pain pushes you to your edge, then whispers, "Now, who are you?" Most people don't like the answer. They find out they've been pretending, living as a version of themselves shaped by fear and approval. Pain tears that version apart. It forces rebirth. But rebirth doesn't come easy. It comes through fire. Asterisk laughs softly, a hint of madness dancing in his tone times. Funny thing about pain, it's honest. Brutally, unapologetically honest. It doesn't lie to make you feel better. It doesn't sugarcoat the truth. It just shows you exactly where the wound is. People think ignoring it makes it go away, but all it does is let it rot. Healing starts when you stop running and finally look the pain in the eye. When you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That's when things start shifting. Pain doesn't just break hearts, it rebuilds them differently, stronger, smarter, sharper. You stop needing validation. You stop settling. You stop pretending that everything has to make sense. You learn to sit in the uncertainty, the discomfort, the emptiness. And you realize pain isn't punishment, it's preparation. Every heartbreak, every failure, every loss, it's shaping you, sanding down your edges, preparing you for something your old self couldn't handle. Asterisk laughs again, eyes flicking upward times. The world teaches you to fear pain, to medicate it, suppress it, drown it in noise. But that's why people never grow. Because every time they run from pain, they run from the truth. They never stay long enough in the dark to find the light hiding there. Pain is where perspective is born. You don't learn empathy, resilience, or courage in comfort. You learn it in chaos, in the moments that tear you apart and force you to rebuild differently. You ever notice how people only appreciate peace after they've been broken? That's because pain gives contrast. It teaches value. You can't understand joy unless you've tasted sorrow. You can't recognize real love unless you've been through the kind that destroys you. You can't appreciate stability unless you've lived through storms. Pain makes you see clearly. It strips away what doesn't matter so you can finally focus on what does. Asterisk laughs low, almost to himself, times pain signals transformation because it's the only thing that reaches deep enough to shake your soul awake. It burns away what's fake. It exposes what's fragile. It humbles you. It teaches you that you're not invincible, but you're not helpless either. It's the space between who you were and who you're becoming, the breaking point that separates illusion from truth. And if you're brave enough to walk through it, not run, not hide, but walk through it, you come out different, not softer, not colder, just real. Pain has purpose. It doesn't visit without reason. It's the universe's way of saying, this version of you is done. People resist that message because it feels cruel, but cruelty is often the disguise of clarity. Without pain, you'd stay where you don't belong. You'd keep loving what's killing you. You'd keep chasing what's beneath you. Pain is what finally makes you stop. It's the push that forces you out of what's over and into what's next. Asterisk laughs softly, looking away for a moment times. Everyone wants transformation, but no one wants to burn for it. Pain is the fire. It destroys what's false, and from those ashes, something unrecognizable starts to rise. That's how you evolve, not through comfort, but through confrontation, through feeling everything you tried to avoid, through learning that the hurt isn't the end, it's the beginning of who you really are. Because sometimes the only way to wake up is to hurt first.